Citi has changed people's lives with technology by introducing the first ever ATM in the United States in 1977. Fast forward 40 years, our team is here to present you how Citi can continue to use technology to change people's lives, to enable growth and progress by being a partner for clients, being a partner for Hong Kong startup. A very warm welcome to you all. My name is Hillary. Together with me and my team are Tony, Jason, and Dixon. Before we go into details of our presentation, allow me to walk you through our executive summary. So currently, customer thinks that digitization is a necessity when they go into a bank. So this makes us very difficult to stand out from the market landscape. The needs of our clients are also changing very rapidly. And being a bank, it's very hard for us to go fully agile to cope with their change. So facing these two challenges, our recommendation today allows Citibank to be the partner for growth. Firstly, to grow with our clients by using social media and data analytics to provide a more customer-centric solution. And secondly, to grow with Hong Kong fintech startups by introducing the Citi X, a partnership-based accelerator. With these two recommendations, we're able to achieve a 35% increase in our revenue by 2020. So currently in the market, a lot of our banks, including ourselves, are providing very similar services. For example, they can do trading online. In terms of payment and also authentication system, they're also very similar. And of course, all banks allows a client to download mobile applications. So the key insight from here is that by providing these online and offline services, it only allows us to be qualified in the market. It doesn't help us to differentiate ourselves from other competitors because these transactional services are easily copied by other market players. So what truly stands Citibank out is this advisory and also the insights we're able to provide to our clients for us to win in the market. And these kind of services are highly valued by the wealth management client. And our wealth management clients, their needs have changed throughout the years. Traditionally, they only want to have someone to plan their financials, they only want to have premium services. But now they're asking for more. They want to have a digitized banking process, they're asking for personalized insights, and they also want to have a proactive say in their investment decision. So facing these situations, here comes our first key question. First, it's how can Citibank embrace digital to provide a more customer-centric solutions to our wealth management client? As a bank, it's very hard for us to go fully agile, and this is exactly where we think startup comes into play. We believe that there's a huge synergy and complementary element in both parties. Citibank is able to offer the scalability and also the trustworthiness that startups are lacking. And startups, it's able to give us the speed of change and also the technological knowledge that we lack. So a collaboration between both parties would maximize the interest for us Citibank and also the startup companies. Which leads us to our second key question is how can Citibank achieve synergy between startups and to play a central role in the Hong Kong finance ecosystem? Without further ado, I'll hand over the time to Dixon and Jason to walk you through our recommendation.
Thank you, Hillary. Our first recommendation is to build a customer-centric business model with the use of social media data analytics. Currently, a lot of the banks, they are still using very traditional product-centric model. They design the product and then market it to customer through different channels. But this leads to a very low success rate and efficiency because a lot of the time the customer receives product information that they don't truly want. A better model will be a customer-centric model, in which we first study and understand our clients' needs, and then we design our product and market it through relevant channels based on their needs and their behavior. So the first step is to understand our customer needs. We know that throughout different life stages of a customer, they have different investment and financing needs. Ideally, the bank wants to capture all these opportunities by cross-selling different products to the customer. However, in reality, this can hardly be done because in Hong Kong, a lot of the customers, they bank with several banks at the same time. So none of the banks has a full understanding about their customer profile and their behavior. However, we believe that this can now be solved with the use of social media data analytics. By analyzing our customers' social media activities, we can understand their behavior, their needs, and their different life stages. Then we can generate insights to empower our frontline sales force to provide the relevant services and products that fit their needs. Let's take a look at Miss Yuan. She is 28 years old, and recently she got promoted as a product manager at P&G. She used HSBC as her primary bank for saving and investment, but she also has a credit card at Citibank. When she applies for the Citi card, she allows Citibank to have access to her customer social media profile. Recently, since she got promoted, she is thinking about buying a car to reward her hard work. So she actively looks for different car information on social media platforms. This can be captured by our social media data analytics system. And together with our internal understanding about Ms. Yuan's credit history and purchasing history, we see that Ms. Yuan is a perfect customer for different personal loan and insurance products. Then we can empower our frontline relationship manager with this insight to provide the relevant products to Ms. Yuan. We see that even though Ms. Yuan is not using Citibank as her primary bank, but with social media data analytics, we'll be in the first position to capture this opportunity and gradually transform Ms. Yuan to be using Citibank as her primary bank. Angel?
So, question for you. So I totally understand you identify the questions as we don't have a full picture of what the customer is,
Yes.
right? So through social media, we can have a grips of that. But this is a big assumption, behind is the affluent customer, which is our key focus segments.
Yes.
They all use social media. And they all put everything on social media. That's why, through the social media analytics, we can understand them better. Mm-hmm. Is that the case? And do you know how many percent, of our target customer using social media actively, and are they growing?
So we first segment our customer into two big market based on the age. First of all, is the 45 to 60, which is our main clients. We see that over 45% are actively on social media platforms. And the other set of customers is the young emerging affluent class who are in their late 20s and early 30s who are very active on social media. And we see that this is the market opportunity because they accumulate certain amounts of wealth and they are at the stage of choosing their lifelong partner for wealth solution. Because for the more mature customer, they already logged in with a particular bank. So we see the opportunity lies in the emerging affluent class customers.
Just one simple add-on. So we don't have concrete numbers about how many percent of our users is actually an active user for Facebook, but we do have numbers for the whole population. For the people aged from 35 to 60, there's 1.4 million of them using Facebook. So around this is 45% of the population that fall into this age range, and then more than 60% of them is actually using Facebook for around 30 minutes. Mainly, stay connected with a friend, not just in Hong Kong, but globally. And then also, they are using Facebook to follow, to get information, not just from their friends, but also from those product, discount, and news, etc.
Okay, correct me if I am wrong. What you're suggesting, isn't it every single social media platform is doing? They get your data, they give you the relevant ads so that it's appealed to you and you can go buy online or whatever. So what is Citibank's value proposition come into play in this scenario or in your platform?
Based on our understanding, those advertisements pushed by Facebook are pretty standardized. So you first need to contact Facebook to push for a particular advertisement to one particular group of customers. But with this social media data analytics, we're collecting our customer data to build a better understanding about a single customer, but not about a group of customers. So in the very long term, we believe that using social media data analytics is not just about capturing one single sales opportunity, but to build a comprehensive customer database to capture their whole life cycle and fulfill their needs at different life stage of the customers. So today, Ms. Young just want to buy a car, but maybe tomorrow her boyfriend will propose to her so that she will get married soon. Then she has a need for mortgage loan. Few years down the road, she has a baby. Then she needs to upgrade her insurance plan to cover her baby as well. We see that the key of social media data analytics is to build a comprehensive customer database to fulfill every single need throughout the customer journey. The first step of social media data analytics starts from collecting the customer data. And we believe that we can do that by incorporating a function that allows customers to connect with their Facebook account either through the electronic application for new customer or in the Citibank mobile app for existing customers. And we can encourage them to do so by providing different incentives. For example, Asian Miles, which a lot of Hong Kong customers are crazy about it. Next, we see that our Citibank customers, they are more well-educated, they are more sophisticated. So when it comes to social media data, they will be very concerned about the privacy issue. In order to build trust and credibility, we believe that Citibank should educate and be transparent about how we use and protect our customer data. So on top of a very traditional terms and condition agreements, which no one ever reads, Citibank should provide more transparent education to the customer of how the social media data analytics works. It can either come in the form of video or infographic, in which we will emphasize that the process of collecting and analyzing data will be done by machine rather than human. Second, we will never transfer or sell any data to third party. And last but not least, the customer can always disconnect their bank account with their social media account, and we will immediately delete all the data. Only by being transparent and genuine communication with the customer, we can cultivate a good and long-term relationship with our customers. To summarize, we can see that by using social media data analytics, we can build a customer-centric model, which we can provide a better customer experience by providing the relevant products that fits their preference and their risk appetite. And this social media data analytics will also be an excellent assistant to our sales force to help them better understand the clients and provide more personalized services to the client.
So how do we make sure we have continuous competitive advantage in this area? Because all other banks can do exactly the same thing, because customer posts data in a public site, right?
Yes, we see that the key advantage of using social media data analytics, or the key differentiator, is not about the customer data, but the algorithm behind it. That's how you analyze and generate insight with your algorithm program. And it takes time and experience to build and enhance the accuracy of the algorithm system. So maybe other banks can also tap into the data. But as a first mover, we can build a more comprehensive algorithm system to better analyze the data and provide more insight to the sales force.
So approximately, we are having a 2 years window for us to actually win ahead of our competitor, because doing algorithm and doing data analytics is also always about try and error. We make the prediction on the customer whether they will consume our product, such as loan or fund, and then they give us a response, and then we learn from the response. So this kind of process is actually the way that we win from the accuracy of the prediction. And time is very critical here. That's why we believe that if we will be the first mover on these areas, such as data analytics, we'll win the market.
I need more sharing in the areas of your focus. So when we talk about the social media analytics, now I saw you need to link up the account to your existing Citi customer. So to me, it's more like personalization when we talk about that. But why do we want to focus on the customization than personalization than like taking all the social media data for your kind of new product consideration, design? What exactly the path you are suggesting? Which way? Do we need to link to our Citibank existing customer, or we just want to see all the Hong Kong social media kind of data?
I think in the very long term, we are not just aiming to get the data from the social media platform. With data analytics, we can get a lot of data from different areas and different databases. But we see that the key of tapping into the customer's social media data is that we can better understand a single customer, but not a group of customers. Because if we just use a very generic customer profile, then a lot of banks can also tap into that. Now I will pass, Christina.
Have you done any research on what types of data you can get from Facebook or like social media?
Based on understanding, Facebook already has a very open API system that allows other entities to tap into the customer data as long as we have the consensus from the customer. So we are very positive on this area.
I think my question is like, what types of data?
So may I clarify your question? You're focusing on the data point that we are collecting from the customer. So So using the Facebook API, not just about the demographic data we will be able to actually acquire, we can also actually have the access to certain, let's say, photo and also comment. So the photo, we can actually deploy some other technologies, such as image recognition, to identify what happens with them. Because people nowadays using Facebook, not really about messaging with people, but it's more like a platform to record their milestone.
Just to add on to your point, Facebook actually allows us to tap into the pages that users have liked. And as mentioned earlier, Facebook is being increasingly being used as a platform to view information and news and certain kinds of pages that they can follow to get updated on the latest information out there. So with these sort of likes and the pages that and groups that people follow, we can get more insights into the interests and the personal hobbies of the customers.
A question. So far, you have talked about using the social data. It means everybody can do that. Are you assuming there's no capital cost at all? And the second question I have is, when you start tapping the data analytics to do more transactions, do you see that as a defensive measure, or it is something that would increase your revenue? Because once you use the data analytics to drive more businesses, you might have to drop your loan rate or other measure, because other purely online data analytical firm, when they lend money, they are so cheap. So if you are seen to be using that, would you be asked by the customers to also drop the rate that you charge your premium customers?
So first of all, let me answer your second question. We believe that our customer, they are looking for a more comprehensive wealth management solution. So the key of using social media data analytics is not about a single sales opportunity, but we keep track of the customer and provide comprehensive wealth management solution. So we believe that we will not compromise on the price or the interest rate, because we are trying to build a long-term partnership with our customers.
So thank you, Edward, for your question. May I clarify on the first part? Are you asking about the cost that we need to acquire the data? So we believe that there is some cost for us to acquire this data, because we need to increase the awareness of our customers. So there are several ways. First of all, it's about cash rebates, what we have mentioned, because we need to get them on board. And then one of the very important things is that we need to ask our relationship manager or the branch manager to actually talk to the customers, to educate them about what is the benefit for giving us the social data? What is the benefit for allowing us to get your social data? Because eventually, we're using data to provide more personalized and more suitable products to you. So this kind of cost needs some training costs, marketing costs, etc. But we do believe that the lifetime of our customers and the lifetime value is actually outperform the cost that we need to acquire such social data in long term.
Thank you, Dixon. Moving on to our next recommendation. What we have observed and seen so far is just one of the many sprouts that will eventually grow into trees. Every day we see new technologies, new ideas, new projects, new startups arising in this ever-changing world. And us, Citibank, being a large organization and a large financial institution, we acknowledge that it is increasingly difficult for us to turn fully agile and capture the opportunities and keep up with the pace of change out there. That's why we come up with our second recommendation, which is to come up with a new model to work with startups and achieve a synergic effect for both parties to grow together. Our recommendation is Citi X, a new take on startup accelerator that is meant for partnership and integration into Citi's global scale platform. And this tailor makes itself to touch upon the pain points specific to fintech entrepreneurs. Having been a fintech co-founder of a startup myself, the past 2 years has been a lot of different challenges across different parts of pain points, not just generic for a startup that is in other industry, but specific to startup entrepreneurs in the fintech space. Not only does an entrepreneur has to prove the concept and idea, find space and people to work with and raise funds, but also has to comply with the regulations, learn about the new regulations, obtain licenses, and also build the customer trust and brand loyalty, brand value that it currently lacks. A startup has no customer base, has no brand trust from the customers, and that, we believe, is where Citibank can touch upon. Citi X accelerator program, therefore, envisions to be the fintech startups in Hong Kong, the ultimate partner of a fintech startup in Hong Kong for growth and prosperity. When we observe Citi's initiatives globally, it has established itself successfully in areas such as New York, Singapore, and Silicon Valley with its fintech initiatives, especially focusing on investing in early-stage fintech startups. However, Hong Kong, which is deemed to be the top 5 global fintech hub, topped with its most recent initiatives such as a new era of smart banking and the FSS, the FinTech Supervisory Sandbox, is on its trajectory to become a global fintech hub. Citibank has done a great job in capitalizing on this trend by launching the Citi FinTech Challenge that has had a successful start, attracting over 200 startups. We believe that there is much more gap to fulfill, and this initiative should be extended forward to meet the pain points of the startup entrepreneurs going forward, and achieving a synergy where startup entrepreneurs can gain from Citi's globality, while Citi can gain from their innovative and agile spirits. Moving on, if we observe the existing accelerators for fintech in Hong Kong, they focus on a very generic approach to make the startups more independent. However, we observe that a standardized mentorship and these sort of initiatives to make them independent is not enough, and there's a greater opportunity if a fintech startup can cooperate with a large institution such as Citi and launch in a faster scalability. Therefore, it provides a platform for fintech startups to test, launch, and grow and scale into Citi's global network. We will go into the specifics in the next slide. So Citi X is an accelerator program that lasts for 1 year and selects a competitive, technologically innovative startups with a number 8 startups with technological innovation in certain areas that Citi can focus on, such as data analytics, artificial intelligence, deep learning, and image processing, such that can enhance the customer experience of Citi's existing customer base. And it is aimed to reach a minimum of 10 times scalability as soon as the startups can get on board with Citi's platform. It offers various features, such as offering space and sponsorship in collaboration with Cyberport, which Citi already has a very strong partnership with, and taps into the Citi network of knowledge capital and knowledge experts who can be a great mentors to these fintech startups in areas such as compliance, in areas such as finance, and so on. But this is also an opportunity for Citi to engage their employees and learn from the startups' cultures of agility and innovativeness. For instance, we can experiment with different formats of knowledge sharing, such as seminars, coffee chats, and even employee rotation program where Citi employees can go into the startup's working space for maybe weeks or months to learn from them and bring the knowledge back to the Citi's core DNA and transform its organization into a more agile one. Yes, please.
Yeah, I heard you mention Citi Global Network and Citi Hong Kong. Do we have to work with New York to make this happen? Is Citi Hong Kong customer base big enough for us to attract the startups? Because it might not be the largest, I don't know. And the second question you said is talent. Do we have enough human talent, both experienced one and also graduates, who would be able to work with Citi and the startup to have the business in place?
So to address your talent question, we believe that there are complementary skill sets for Citi as a bank and startups. Startups may have the innovative and the proactive mindsets and the talents in, for example, technology, while Citi has the talents in compliance, finance, and customer-facing functionalities. So this can form a great synergy once we launch these initiatives. And the first question, which was?
So your first question was, do we need to work with a global office? And the answer is currently it's no, because we believe that in this accelerator, a lot of time we're providing the startups the information of the Hong Kong client, and perhaps when the startup is big enough, they grow big enough, perhaps we can also offer different kind of supports for them to scale their startup.
To build on the point, it is not just the customer base of Hong Kong itself, but the brand name of Citi, which is trusted globally. And that gives a great incentive for these startups to work with us. And eventually, we may build initiatives to work with other Citi branches across the globe to launch once we identify that the startup is scalable. The third initiative is mainland exposure. We identified that Hong Kong is in a very unique position with its accessibility to the innovations in mainland China. A lot of innovations in the fintech space has happened in mainland China, in the mobile payment space, peer-to-peer lending space, with Alipay and WeChat Pay and many other startups that want to go global. But we believe that Hong Kong is a great place for them to start their global initiatives, and Citi X can be the connector that takes mainland startups and takes them globally. And by taking some of these mainland startups, we may be able to equip the Hong Kong startups with the right knowledge and knowledge from the innovative side of mainland China. Last but not least, the Citi partnership aims to equip the startups with the ability to pilot test and actually launch their products into a small group of testers that are Citi's clients with their right consensus and agreement. And then eventually at the end of the one-year program can go through a rigorous assessment and launch their product to a scale of that Citi has that the startup does not have. Moving on, this would be a hypothetical.
Sorry. China aims to develop Shenzhen into the second Silicon Valley of the world, not Hong Kong. So should I go to Shenzhen to find the partner, or should I only focus on Hong Kong startup?
Thank you for your question. Actually, we've observed that Shenzhen is growing hub for innovation, but in a different area. Shenzhen is very good at hardware. Startups, companies like DJI that make drones have arisen from Shenzhen as their global hub. But Hong Kong, which has a core competency in area of finance, can become the fintech hub and is actually acknowledged by global players like Deloitte to be the fintech hub of the world.
So your question is, do we actually source our partners from Shenzhen? Our answer is, why not? Because we are in such a unique position that we have a close partnership with mainland China. And we also see that in the coming, there are some various examples that, for example, Genie, a Brown Award winner for our FinTech Challenge, they are providing social media analytics. They are providing a lot of different things that will be actually applicable to us to provide some initiative to our clients. But this kind of integration is ultimately benefiting our service that we may be a channel to our customers.
So on a closing remark, we believe that Citi X is an enabler for Citibank to stay at the forefront of technology innovation by achieving a synergy with a group of startups that we identify and take to the front line of our customer experience. And we believe that this can make our experience of combining 1 + 1 into something greater than 3. Now I'll pass the time on to Tony.
Sure. So thank you, Dixon and Jason, for the recommendation. Focus on the growth that aligns with our client and also for the fintech. So to evaluate the impact for our recommendation, there are several key performance indicators that we need to take a look. So for the first part, the customer growth. So by using data analytics and also a lot of social media analytics to our existing platform, we hope to maintain the leadership position in this area by having 45% of the active users over the platform by 2022. And then we also measure the increase in the customer satisfaction by a truly focus on the customer-centric model. By this is to measure the degree of willingness for our customer to share the benefit of our application or platform. Lastly, we'll increase the product per customer because we see that current customers only may be consuming the credit card or the wealth management services. But if we truly understand them more, there's a lot of opportunity for us to cross-sell and also upsell. For our second recommendation, Citi X, we aim to keep the batch size small, around 8, because these numbers, we will be able to manage it, and we will have a lot of opportunity to increase the collaboration about it. So our recommendation will help Citi to capture a 35% of the upside with 2 major reasons. Social media analytics to understand their need across age, and to provide a lot of loan opportunity to realize their goals, such as car loan, as Rian mentioned. The success of Citi is focusing on enabling the growth and also progress. And our recommendation is focused on the growth. Grow with customer by truly understanding their need and recommending the right product to them. Grow with fintech by making us as a platform a partner to them for them to scale not just locally, but regionally and globally. We believe our recommendation is not just bring the impact about the numbers and dollars, but it's also about how does it change to us, change the customers, change to the society, and change to the fintech. So this is the end of our presentation. We open the floor for more questions. Thank you.